Countless dogs are essentially being given a death sentence by the Canadian government, given a ban that was imposed on adoption of dogs from many foreign countries about 2 years ago. Robert Kraychik reporting for Rebel News here in Ottawa, Ontario, outside the headquarters of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. I unexpectedly came across this protest this past Saturday as I was driving back home from some errands. I saw a bunch of folks out here wearing yellow t-shirts. They had a bunch of dogs with them. They were holding signs stating "Amend the Ban," and they were chanting "Save Our Goldens," which was a reference to golden retrievers. Many of the dogs that were there happened to be golden retrievers. So being the news fiend that I am, the enterprising journalist that I am, of course I parked my car nearby, got out, and found out what was going on. And many of these demonstrators were very charitable with their time, and they obliged my inquiries as to why they were here and the rationale for their protest and what it was really all about. So I'm here with Viva, one of the event's organizers, who's gracious enough to speak with me and explain to our audience the rationale behind this demonstration and what this ban is all about with the chant "Amend the Ban." Maybe you can inform our audience, Viva, what's going on here?
Well, what's happened is 2 years ago, the CFIA, which is the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, banned international dogs from entering Canada from about 114 countries, with the understanding that they're worried about rabies. But yet, there hasn't been a single case of rabies in Canada from a non-flying animal since 1967.
Okay.
And we also do a titer test, which is something that we can measure their antibodies for the rabies vaccine to make sure that they're adequately protected. So we rescue groups such as ours, who are very responsible, should be exempt from this.
Maybe you can tell us, share with the audience, the story behind your adoption of Camila, your golden retriever right here.
So Camila is 6 years old now, and Golden Rescue brought her to me from Cairo, Egypt, roughly 6 years ago. She was almost a year when she arrived. She is blind from birth. And although I have not yet been to Cairo, some of our board members at their own expense have traveled they want boots on the ground. They want to see what's happening in Istanbul, Cairo, and Mexico, which are the three main areas that we have rescued from. And they actually brought her back on one of our International Rescue Mission of Love. That's what they're called.
And now with Camila here, is it fair to assume that she would not be alive today if this ban that you folks are in opposition to would have been applied prior to your adoption of her years ago?
So 100%. I also have another international rescue at home from Istanbul, and both of my girls, they would not have survived. I mean, it's pretty horrific what's happening in other countries. I know that in Istanbul and Turkey, it's pretty barbaric the way that they treat strays. But second of all, when you have a huge homeless dog population, I'm hearing stories of, them being shipped off to the meat trade in China. I know that in Istanbul, because I've done my research, I know that in Istanbul, they will take the dogs to forests and leave poison out to poison them to get rid of the stray dog population. So 100%, my girls they would not be alive if it wasn't for Golden Rescue and giving them a second chance, which is what we're all about.
So I'm here with Melina, who's been kind enough to speak with me about why she's here. So Melina, I heard that there's a great story behind this dog, and maybe you can tell us about him or her.
Absolutely. This is Maddie. So Maddie came over on a flight from Cairo. She likes to play. Maddie's a rescue. She was surrendered to a shelter in Cairo around a year old. And she is my pride and joy. She's everything. I rescued her with Golden Rescue. Thank you very much. And she came over on a flight of 30. She was 30 of 30 to come off the flight. So we saw everyone meet their Goldens for the first time. We saw all these Goldens take their first few steps on Canadian soil. It was an amazing, amazing experience. It was so emotional. And Maddie wouldn't be here without Golden Rescue.
Can you get some sort of input or communication with CFIA in order to express your concerns, express your understanding of how this stated rationale for prohibiting adoption of dogs from overseas doesn't really make sense, given that the very premise, the spreading of rabies itself, is nonsensical given that it's an entirely preventable illness. Can you get in contact with these folks?
That's what we're trying to do. So we're here at the CFIA office. We are just trying to get some media attention, trying to restart the conversation. We've written to members of parliament, members of provincial parliament. You know, we've done everything that we can to try to get them to hear us. So if you're listening, if you're watching, we're here. Come chat with us. We have experts. We have the data. We can do whatever it needs to reassure you that that would never happen through Golden Rescue, and that, come help us. We'll work with you. We're not saying destroy the ban. We're not saying get rid of it, eliminate it entirely. We want it amended for reputable rescue agencies like Golden Rescue.
One question about the favoritism or the affection for this particular breed. Your organization is called Golden Rescue, obviously an allusion to the breed, and a lot of Golden Retrievers are here. Yeah. A lot of folks love that dog. What's so special about this breed that makes them so unique to you folks?
So apart from the drawback of them being very hairy, Golden Retriever glitter is what I call it. They are wonderfully affectionate. They've got great temperaments. They make amazing family dogs. My beautiful Gamila here. Gamila is Arabic for the word beautiful, and she really is beautiful right from the inside out. They're very happy dogs. They make great family pets. They can be a medium energy too, which is also a benefit to families. They enjoy hiking and walking, but they're also very chill.
After speaking with the demonstrators, the protesters who were very gracious with their time, it became very obvious to me very quickly that they are almost all dog lovers and dog enthusiasts, with a good number of them volunteering with organizations that are dedicated to animal welfare, usually focused on dogs. And some of these organizations are dedicated to adopting dogs from foreign countries to save them from terrible conditions and horrible fates. Bear in mind that human beings have been living with dogs for tens of thousands of years. The taming and domestication of wolves came tens of thousands of years before agriculture. But now, all of a sudden, in the modern era, we need to deal with governmental management of dog ownership. I'll give you a specific example in the context of Ottawa, a local example. You need to pay $100 per year for permission from the city to own a dog. That's how much it costs per year to have a dog license. So you literally must pay for a permission slip from the local government in order to own a dog lawfully in this city. Folks, if you value this sort of in the field and impromptu journalism, you can contribute to our operational costs because we can't produce this stuff for free. Please visit rebelfieldreports.com and contribute what you can in order to help us continue producing this original content.